My favorite memory, if I could only choose one, because it's not fair, only being able to choose one is hard, it would probably have to be Juneteenth. We started Juneteenth in 2021. And the thing that's crazy is we literally started it from us trying to do some help with a local park. We were trying to find out how we can engage some young youth, some African-American youth that were in the vicinity. And me and Tyler Evans, we had a great conversation. We met for the first time in person, and we're meeting and we're talking about all these things. And Juneteenth became the fruit of that. So it was in May. For those that know, Juneteenth is literally June 19th. So we had 6 weeks maybe to try to make something happen. And we were amazed that, we had hundreds of people come out and to be able to enjoy. And I enjoyed it because Juneteenth wasn't something that I learned about growing up. A lot of people around me, when we asked people, I realized we didn't know. My sister, she knew about it. She's been trying to tell me for the longest, but being able to educate other individuals was just something that was really important for us, because we're not just a festival. We're not just a fest that we're trying to have a lot of people come out to say that they came out. We get a chance to educate about history, not Black history, American history, that I think is really, really important. So if I could only choose one, I would probably say Juneteenth, because it's something that we saw in one moment, but we're able to build on it. And we've been able to connect a lot of communities together, a lot of cultures together. And that's something that everybody on the team have really enjoyed. So for sure, my favorite memory is Juneteenth. Okay, so I'm definitely going to do two, so I'm sorry for bending the rules here. An important memory, there was two. The first is probably going to be the first march that we did in 2020. Now, everybody knows 2020 was just a crazy time in every aspect of America. The pandemic is at its height. This is around June or so. So the pandemic is at its height. We don't know what's going on there. And then at the same time, we had three tragic police brutality cases that were around the country. And one of those things with George Floyd, after that had happened, we had a lot of conversations. Me, Mayor Gilbert, alongside some other young adults had met, and we were trying to see what we can do, and we ended up going with the march. That march changed my life because, one, I was able to see so many people from so many different cultures, white, Black, Hispanic, people around Apex, in Apex, come together for a cause. I was blessed. I had an opportunity to speak there just for a few moments, and I think that will change my life forever. We see the protests. We see those things. We see some of them go really bad. They become very violent, and luckily Apex wasn't one of those things. But I think that moment changed my life forever, not only being able to be a part of that, seeing the fruit of that, but understanding the significance of that and so many things that came with it. I will also say my other important thing from Apex was I got a chance, I believe in 2019, to actually work with the police department here at Apex. And we were having a lot of conversations about inclusivity. We were having a lot of conversations, and they wanted to bring in Black and brown bodies to be able to give another understanding for the police department. I loved it because once we got into 2020, when we're seeing these things and we're seeing all of the police brutality, I felt comfortable to be able to vouch for Apex's police department, because they had been trying to do the work prior to some of these extremes that we were seeing. So some of the reason why I think that was so important was I'm seeing how Mayor Gilbert, the police chief, the former police chief, and even now Chief Armstrong were so intentional about making sure that we're doing the work, even if it's not always broadcasted. And that's the thing, because a lot of people here had an issue with some of the Apex Police Department, and I was able to vouch and say, no, they have actually been trying to do this work. They have been trying their hardest to be able to bridge the gap and to give understanding to those that may not understand, because honestly, that's another hard thing. A lot of people think that white individuals may know what it feels like, and that Black individuals may know what it feels like in the other person's shoes, and it's impossible without conversation, without connectivity, and without being able to be in community. So those are the two most important things. That's a great question. Apex, and this is the easy answer, we're here. Apex First Baptist makes it home. So a lot of people don't know this about me. Prior to me becoming a youth pastor here at Apex First Baptist, I was out of the church for a few years. Some situations had happened, I had stopped, and when I came, my pastor, Pastor Frankie McLean, he was the pastor here, and it changed my life. It really did. Being able to get back into church, being able to serve as a youth pastor has literally been instrumental for me, and I've loved that. One of our missions here is to be Christ-centered and community community focused. And the reason that I enjoy it so much and the reason why I was able to make it home is because it changed me to be able to live out some of the community things that I wanted to do. Again, we've had the opportunity to give away food. We've had the opportunity to give away clothes. And because my pastor is one to always let others lead, he doesn't feel like he has to be in the front. So he lets me get a lot of those opportunities and sort of spearhead them. So I've enjoyed that process because I've been able to touch a lot of people. And not the fact that I'm able to do it, I get a chance to experience a lot of people. So being able to see them, see the smiles on their faces, to see how many people really needed it, because 2020 again was a crazy time. So to see how many people needed food and they were appreciative, to be able to talk to the community members, to be able to talk to the people around, that's been the thing that's changed my life. And with all of the events that I've been a part of, I've been blessed to have that opportunity, meeting the business owners, meeting these different people, realizing how great the hearts of the people in Apex are, has been so grateful. So that's one of the things that makes Apex home for me. My hopes for Apex is that Apex continually grows. I mean, we call it the peak of good living, but I want it to be the peak for a lot of things. Again, I'm a youth pastor at a predominantly Black church. I appreciate this. And, you know, Blacks in America are minorities, but Blacks, especially in Apex, are minorities. And one of the things that I hope for in regards to Apex is that we continue to see some growth for opportunities in the Black community, Black and brown community specifically, because there are a lot of opportunities, there are a lot of great things that are happening, but I want to continue to see them grow. Luckily, we have a lot of students that are at Apex Friendship, which is a much newer school and things, and they've been enjoying that. But my goal is to see different opportunities for them, to see us continue to build some of the parks, to build some of the community things. Not only we have the skate park, things are great, but to see opportunities to see other cultures be able to grow and flourish, things that will help them, and things that will be able to continue to push them, because I think that Apex is an amazing, it has a conglomerate of so many different cultures, so many different people, and some of the greatest people that I know have lived in Apex, are from Apex, or are currently in Apex. But I want them to be able to continually grow, feel as though they can soar, and have the opportunities, and to be equipped with greater opportunities to be able to grow and do more. Apex First Baptist, my home. I'm excited here. I am the youth pastor here. Our pastor is Pastor Frankie L. McLean. First lady is Dr. Elisa McLean, and we love Apex First Baptist. We just celebrated our 154th year being here, being a staple. We're here at 419 South Salem Street in Apex. And Apex is great. I didn't realize how much history this church has, from Dr. J. Perkins, who was a community pillar here for so many years. And then now my pastor is sort of taking that reign and trying to make sure that we're impacting the community. Again, I think that the pandemic really helped us because it allowed us to expand our reach in the community. It allowed us, some people, I remember seeing a sign from some churches in certain areas, not in Apex, but I saw them saying the church was closed. And I thought that we worked the hardest during the pandemic. We were working way harder than we ever were prior to it. And I think that that's a sign of course, our pastor's mindset, but just the church as a whole. We will have people volunteering again just about every day for months on end in 2020 to be able to provide food. We were collaborating with Western Weight Crisis and all of these people and other collaborators to be able to give clothes out, to do different things. Again, when we say Christ-centered, community focused, when we put that up there, we had to make sure that we lived it. And that's one thing that I appreciate about our church, is that we don't ever let that mission just be something that looks good on t-shirts, that looks good on the website, but something that we're continually trying to make sure that everything that we do, every single ministry, is Christ-centered and community-focused. So we have our youth that have a lot of our youth often are volunteering, and that's something that we want. We have Thanksgiving coming up, we have Christmas coming up, and as we're going to give them gifts, we're going to give them all of these great things, but we got to serve the community. Let's go to a shelter. Let's go and give out clothes. Let's go make sure that we're caroling to some of our elderly before we go and visit the lights and all the good things. Let's make sure that we always know that there's somebody that we can be giving to. There's somebody that's in need, and there's somebody that just a simple smile will change their life forever. So those are some of the big components that we have here at Apex First Baptist, and we've tried our best to make sure that everything that we do goes back to that one mission statement.